We have an issue. It's travel day tomorrow. We need to be out of here by 11. We just ran up the road. On the way, I had a DEF fault. I thought, well, we've got a quarter of a tank of DEF, so maybe I'll just fill that up. So I filled up with diesel, ready for travel day, and I filled up with DEF all the way up, and it's now reporting that it's going to limit us to 50 miles an hour in 23 miles.
It really makes me wonder.
So I phoned a friend of mine who is a Ford technician. I won't say your name, you know who you are, thank you. You've helped me with a few things before. He said it's probably, there is a DEF pump at the back and it's probably the connections in there. So there's a couple things I can try, which I'm going to go through in a moment. Apart from that, it is Saturday today. Everything's closed because it's Saturday evening. Everything is closed on Sunday. So me and Natalie have decided that I'm going to try these things. Hopefully it fixes it. If not, we don't have too long of a travel day. I mean, it's going to be at 50 miles an hour, but we're going to try and get there at 50 miles an hour. It's mainly going to be highways, and then we're going to try and figure it out this week. So I'm going to try these things that my friend suggested. I'm going to do some Googling, see if there's anything else. Friend said there's a little connector under here that I think is the DEF connector.
Pump?
Yeah, the DEF pump I think is under here, and there's this connector. So I've just taken that out, plugged it back in. I've read a lot online that actually just flooring it helps it, and it might be just because we've been towing. We haven't really been
clearing it through.
No, yeah. So it might be something like that. So I think I'm just I reset that. He did say disconnect the batteries, so I could do that, plug it back in, and then take it out for a drive, and just go on the highway and give it a bit. It's worth a go, isn't it?
You just said you were doing 80 on the highway, so.
Yeah, but it's more acceleration rather than speed.
Okay.
So I just need to floor it on like the
oh no,
the
you
on-ramp.
poor thing.
All right, I'm gonna disconnect the battery and then take it out.
Right. Not easily.
So we actually have the dual battery with dual heavy duty alternators. So I have to disconnect both. Alright, I don't know how long to leave this, but I guess I'll probably leave this for like 10 or 15 minutes. Just to see if I can reset the system. It's not going to reset the fault. Annoyingly, I have a fault code reader as well. Left it at home. It's been in the truck for years, never used it. The one time I take it out and now I need it. But to be honest, I can Google it and I think it's always the same code. It's like 209A code or something like that. But alright, let's see if that works. Right, taking the batteries off. I also sat with my foot on the brake for a while. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I read it somewhere. So batteries are back in. I'm going to take it out for a drive. Let me just start it up. I'll flick this around so you can see what happens. Well, it's still there. So I'm going to go be reckless. Alright, sorry you're down in the dash at the moment because I don't want to hold the camera whilst driving, but I'm in third gear, just giving it some, because apparently getting the engine up to temperature is important. No idea why. So our oil temperature is at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm in third, cruising at 45, doing about 2,500 RPM. Let's see if that does anything. Now the thing here is a lot of this is just because sometimes it just kind of needs to clear out the system. But I mean, it could be something more severe. So DEF has a heater, it also has a pump, it has a whole different bunch of components. It also has a bunch of sensors. As much as a nerd I am, these sensors are so annoying. They're sensors to tell you when something's broken or not working properly, but they break more than anything else. So, anyway, we'll see. Okay, here it goes. nearly hit my 50-mile limit, so it's about to go into limp mode to 50 miles an hour. Currently doing 60 in a 75. I know a bunch of you are going to say is get it deleted, so you can delete like the EGR valve and the whole DEF system, especially where we're in a state where we don't have emissions testing. However, the truck is still under warranty, so I don't want to do any of that because it will void my warranty. I don't know how you do it, I don't know how easy it is to do, but until it's done from the warranty, I'm not going to touch that. It's not doing it. I've done more than 5. Oh. Alright. Well, that's my buddy phoning. Give me a sec. Hey, man.
Hey, okay, couple things. I checked on your truck. Your truck's still covered on there's a recall on the DEF pump, so that's covered through the dealership. It shouldn't cost you any money to get that fixed.
Okay.
What you need to do is, if you get a chance, go to Advance and see if they can pull the codes for it. It could be just a knock sensor gone bad. I would look underneath the truck on the driver's side, towards the back of the gas tank. Make sure nothing came unplugged, nothing's hanging down, there's no wires hanging out, you didn't hook something in the road, or break a line or something like that. Just check it. You should be fine. It's not going to slow the truck down. You know, it says 50, but sometimes you just keep on going. It's not going to do like the Dodge does, it slow you down to 10 miles an hour, as GMs do that too. They make you slow down next to nothing. Yeah.
So here's the thing. I did a few things. I checked all of that stuff. I did a bunch of Googling. I checked the connections. I disconnected the battery, put my foot on the brake, put it back together. I went out. I drove erratically for a little while because people are saying that sometimes fixes it. I've now hit that limit, so it says if I turn it off and back on, I'm stuck. Yeah. I'm stuck to that 50 limit.
You're stuck to that speed limit?
Yeah, so really annoyingly what I should have done is not done this and then just towed it tomorrow and just not turned the truck off until I stopped.
Yeah.
Too late now.
Tomorrow's Sunday. Yeah, so it's gonna be well, you did it to clear the codes out of it too. Now if you could go to like an Advance or something like that, see if they can pull the code up and let me know what the code is.
Okay.
Okay. And then just call me and text me with the code. It could be, like I said, it could be a knock sensor. They're not allowed to clear the code out of the car because they get in trouble for doing that. I mean, you can tell the guy, look, if you, yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, you can clear it out. If you can, you can't. A lot of times the codes will stay in even if you disconnect the battery and hold the brake pedal down.
Yeah. Unless
you leave it disconnect 15, 20 minutes or something like that, and it resets everything on it. But just do that, and then, like I said, I got your VIN number, so that yours is covered for the. If you get a code for the DEF pump, the pump could have quit on you. If you get a code for that, it's covered in the warranty, and you keep those in stock.
Okay. So what do you suggest I do right now? Do I do I go to advanced, or do I just try and get to our next campground tomorrow? Do I go to advanced right now, or I don't know what towing at 50 is going to be like. That's going to be pretty painful.
That's okay.
But or do
what do you normally tow at?
65, 70.
Okay, yeah, I normally tow between 60, 65, 50. I mean, as long as you stay in the right lane, and you tow 50 miles an hour. It's 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Get to the next campground, but when you get there, see if there's any Ford dealerships around, and you can go online. You can go online at night with your phone, and you can set up an appointment and just tell them that if you can tell them what the code is, I can tell you what you need to do. That's the best thing.
Yeah, but even to be honest, even if I go to advanced now and they read me a code, it's like I can't really do anything unless I go to Ford anyway, right? Right. So I may as well just get back and then get to the campground, because then we have all week. We're there all week, so as soon as we get to the campground, then we can.
That's perfect.
Yeah, we can do that.
How far is the campground from where you are now?
I don't. What the new campground tomorrow?
Yeah. How far was it?
Natalie said it's like 2 hours. Yeah, 2.5 hours, I think.
Well, what I would do is put Natalie in the back so she doesn't aggravate you, and then just take a longer trip. It'll take a little longer. put her in the kennel. Put her in the kennel with the dog. Is what the dog should.
I'll put her in Jax's crate, and Jax can come sit up front with me.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're pulling 50 miles an hour, it's going to seem like it's slow, but it's still, you know, still 50 miles an hour. I mean, just pretend you're in traffic. That's all.
Yeah.
But
okay.
yeah, you'll make it there. Once you get there, get a hold of the Ford dealership. And meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll look up the TSB and I'll send you a recall on it. I'll give you the number for it so that when you get in, it says, yeah, just tell me your brother works for a Ford dealership. You said there's a recall on those.
Okay.
So.
All right, sweet. Do you know how long? Does it limit me at 50 mile an hour for how long? Do you know?
It doesn't go any. That's it. It's 50 miles an hour. It doesn't go less than that. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, no deal.
So.
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
All right, thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, anytime. You know that. All right.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Okay.
Thank you again.
All right, buddy.
All right. See ya.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Bye.
All right. I just turned it off and back on. It's not limiting me to 50. It said if you turn it off and back on, it would, and it hasn't yet. I'm pretty sure that by the morning it would have done that though. So, all right. I'm just gonna do what my buddy said. We're just gonna tow at 50 tomorrow. Alright, I just stopped at a Ford dealership right down the road from our campground, but I knew that their service department closed at 4 and it's now 6. So I spoke to the sales guy, who was completely unhelpful. I expected him to be helpful. I just thought, well, maybe there might be a techie around. It's only a small place, so I was hoping maybe the owner was here, but just to plug it in and give me a code, but they're not. So back to the original plan. It was worth a try popping in here, but we're just going to tow at 50. Oh, I have turned it on just when I turned the truck on because I left it sat there for 5 minutes off. It has now limited me to 50 mile an hour. Oh, that's strange. That's really strange. My foot is flat on the floor. Okay, I'm going to slow down now because I'm in a 40 mile an hour limit. But all right, it might be all right. 50 doesn't seem too bad.
It's not awful. It could be 5 miles an hour. That could be much worse.
That is true. But there is a lot of traffic behind us right now, is what I'm going to say. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry.
What do you mean it's gone?
The error's gone. It just I was doing 65 and I thought it's because I was going downhill. But the error's actually gone. There's no DEF error. DEF fault.
Fingers crossed, Lawrence.
I can accelerate. I'm doing 65. Woohoo!
Not tempt fate.
What is this magic? We're jumping forward 2 weeks now because I wanted to give you an update on the truck issue. So what we did is we reset the battery, we filled up the DEF. I took it for a drive and
Got limited.
And then the next day we hooked up and we decided to drive at 50 miles an hour to our next campsite.
Luckily there were storms, so we ended up doing 30.
There were storms, so we were doing 30 most of the way, but after about 20 miles or so, the error fixed itself. And to this day, a couple of weeks later, it's still fixed.
However, I did get to the next campsite and phone the Ford garage immediately and tried to get booked in, and that was in Maine, I think.
Yeah.
And they just were so booked out we couldn't get an appointment. So.
Yep. And actually, the lady was extremely unhelpful on the phone.
Very unhelpful.
I've never seen Natalie so angry.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, Ford were pretty unhelpful. Our friend was very helpful.
Yes.
So there's a few things that the problem could have been. The first one is it just needed a system reset.
Yep.
So I think the DEF level got so low that it caused the error, and then once we reset the battery, it basically reset the system. But apparently when you reset the system, you do need to drive some miles for it actually to kick in. So it could have been that, it could have been me driving around and clearing some of the filters out that were causing the problem. Or it could have been where we were in traffic, stop traffic, I was using the engine brake a bit. There was a lot of hills on that drive, so using the engine brake going downhill could have maybe cause something. I don't know, I'm not a
Faulty
mechanic.
DEF pump, faulty sensor.
Yeah, so
Could be
there is a
anything.
DEF heater that I thought was the problem, because there is a recall on that, which we will get done once we can get booked into a Ford dealer. But anyway, so I'm sorry about it, but we don't have a definitive answer.
Yeah.
But a lot of forums are saying if you get this, just keep driving, fill up the DEF and keep driving. I didn't believe them, but I believe they are correct. Anyway, I know this wasn't very helpful, but you can still hit the thanks button because Natalie loves it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this if someone else is having this issue. I hope the conversation with my buddy helped, and thank you to my buddy for all the help and advice over the past couple of weeks. So yeah, hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit the join button if you'd like to support a couple of tits, Natalie and myself. If not, we will see you next week, where we'll be doing more than 50 miles an hour.